Hey everyone, welcome back to Everyday Makers. So it's been a little while. Um, Life got in the way and things got busy, and we haven't posted a lot of videos in a while, but we're looking to get back into things. And today we're going to do a quick little project that I actually came about on accident, and I'm going to share with you guys. So today we're going to make this little step stool. I was working on actually some joinery for legs. I'm looking to do a bar stool project. And as I was doing some tests on it, I just sort of ended up making a stool, and it came out pretty good. So I'm going to make another one for you guys and kind of show you how it goes. And this is a project I got done. This first one I got done in less than an hour. So today we're going to shoot for a under 1 hour step stool. So join me and let's get started. Okay, so first things first. The wood that I'm using today is just stuff that I had. It's some leftover scraps I had. This stuff is it's about 1x7. Um, yeah, exactly 1x7. So this is the stuff you can get at Menards. That's where I get it. It's the prime. So they call it 5/4 by 8, but it turns out to be pretty much exactly 1x7, 5/4 by 8. Um, I had this from some floating shelves that I made. Again, something I didn't videotape and show you guys just because it was a quick project. Um, so I had some of this left over, and I was doing some tests for, like I said, for legs, and these are slats that went underneath a mattress on a loft bed that my girls had that they didn't use anymore, and I have like 2 dozen of them, and they're perfect. They're like a 1x2. I think I have the dimensions actually written down. They're 1 7/8 by 7/8, so close, but they're perfect. They're perfect for doing these kind of tests, and they actually are holding up really well. I can sit on this no problem. Um, so that's what I'm going to use today. The angle that we're doing here is 10 degrees. All right. Okay. Like I said, I have my chop saw set up at a 10-degree angle, and then I have my stop block, which you may not be able to see. I've got a stop block over here set at 1 foot, and just going to go ahead and cut 4 of these, and quick and easy. Almost forgot eye protection. 4 legs done. Okay, so we've got our legs now. Got the 4 legs. So I think the most difficult part of this project, and it's not really that difficult, it's just keeping it straight in your head, is making sure you make 2 different sets of legs, because you have one going off this way and one going off that way. If you set up your table saw and cut the notches on the same side on all of them, you'd only have one kind of leg. So you have to do 2 one way, turn your jig to 10 degrees the other way, and do 2 more. It's not as bad as it sounds. So I have got my T-square here, or whatever you want to call this thing. It's a combination square, set up for the depth of my seat, whatever that is, whatever you end up using. It just makes it easier when you're going over to the table saw. So I set that up on here, and then I put that right along the edge here, and I just scribe my line even with the ruler. So now I have my mark parallel with my 10-degree angle on my leg. I do it on both sides, and I'll show you why here in a second. Okay. Now I have one on both sides. And then I kind of connect them across the short side. Kind of eyeball it. And I'll show you why just in a minute that this comes in handy. Okay, so I have my mark all the way around. I'm going to do the other one, actually all three. I'll do that off camera, but it's just measuring in the exact same thing. But we'll just switch which side we cut off. So a little bit of time lapse here for you while I do that. All right, so that's all done, and then I've done the little scribble out. You see a lot of people do that, and that's what that's for if you didn't know. Just to know which side you should be cutting away. I've done all my measurements all the way around. Now I'll take you over to the table saw and show you how I have that set up. And you can make all these cuts in about 10 minutes, if that. All right, let's do it. Okay, so we're set up here. Right here, I'm at a 10-degree angle. The depth or the height of my blade is about half of the thickness of the piece of wood that you're using. That's just what I'm going with. There may be some rule of thumb with that, but that's just what I'm doing. So for the first pass, or the first two legs, you'll set up your fence so that the line that you've scribed is exactly parallel with your blade. So then I can do all of these cuts, and you'll see when it butts up to the seat, it's going to come out nice and level. So I will do my first two. I'm just going to eyeball that first pass right up to the line, and then I will nibble away all the way across. Then I'll reset 10 degrees the other way, do the other two, and that's it. Okay, so I've set back up 10 degrees the other way. I'm going to do the other two legs. Here we go. Okay. So we have our two different sets of legs to go on our base. The next step, I'm going to just clean up that cut a little bit. You can kind of see on this face, when you do the method I was using, it's hard to get rid of all the little grooves between the blade or your blade passes. So I just take a chisel and just flatten that out a little bit. So I'm going to do that to all four legs now. Much better. Okay, so my next step with each one of these, I'm just going to mark 2 holes and just do some pre-drilling for the screws. I'm going to use a countersink bit just because I like the way that looks. That's super easy. So that's going to be next. And I'm marking them first just because I like to be able, I can use this line. I like to be able to look and try and make my screws, my holes for my screws parallel with that, because then that'll make them level in theory. See, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it. You could, if you really wanted to, you could get it out and measure and make them both the same distance from the edges and the same distance up. But this is meant to be a quick project for something that you're just going to use around the house. If this is something you wanted to start selling, then I would recommend going that little extra step. But for me, this is just something for my girls to stand on or to sit on or whatever when they're sitting at the coffee table in the living room or something like that. So, all right, those are all marked, and I'm going to pre-drill all those holes. Okay, so those are all set. Now I'm going to transfer these marks over to my seat. Okay, so I've reset here. I've got a big toolbox right here as a stop so I can apply some pressure, and it's not going to slide my board everywhere because I don't have any workbench dogs for hold downs. I know. So now I'm going to go through and just drill, just a little bit in for each hole, take the leg away, finish off the hole. Okay, so I did those two. If you wanted to do all your drilling in one pass, I would recommend that. You could. If you're going to do that, I would just make sure you number what legs are going where. Because if you don't, your holes are going to be a little bit off. You could get them mixed up. So just do some numbering. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy. So I'm using here, let's see what these are, 1.5 screws. This is just what I had laying around. I've got a whole bunch of them. Like I said, this is just kind of a project I did with whatever I had laying around. I didn't go out and buy any of this stuff for this project. It was just a use what I've got kind of thing. So I'm going to attach this side, spin it around, drill the holes, attach the other side. There we are. And actually, this one turned out better than the first one. And I spent way more time on that one. But I was kind of figuring out what I was doing and doing it for other purposes. So, yeah, this is good. Next step, I'm going to hit it with a 60 disc to knock off, because this is pretty rough stuff. I'm going to knock off a lot of material with that. And then I'll switch over. I don't have anything in between that right now, so I'm going to jump right to 220 after that, a disc of 220. Smooth it out real nice, and that's it. Then we'll wrap it up after that. I've got my 60, yeah, some 60 grit on there. That's pretty rough stuff, so be careful if you're using something that rough. That moves a lot of material very quickly. So I'm just going to hit some of that. What I want to do with this one, see, I've left myself just a little bit there. I'd like to try and sand down this whole edge so it's flush with the leg. You'll see the first one I made, I set those in a little bit further. And I didn't really want to take off that much material with the sander. So again, this one was more for the joinery, making sure I had the process down correctly before I moved to bar stools. So this one I'm going to make look a little bit nicer. So here we go. All right, so I'm sitting on the first stool I made, and this is the one that I just made for you guys. Came out pretty darn nice. The only thing that I would maybe do, which I might still go back and do, is just put a stringer across each side and maybe one in between here. I don't know. I mean, I'm not planning on using these. As you can see, I'm sitting on one right now, and it's it's holding up fine. These are probably more for the kids, which it's going to hold up just fine for them. So it was a great project. I'm pretty sure it just took me right around an hour to do. So it's something you can get done in one day for sure, and make multiple of them, as I did. I made the first one a couple days ago, and then I just knocked this one out now. So yeah, let us know what you think about this. Like and subscribe if you would, please. We are really trying to get some content back going on our page. I think the next thing I'm going to work on is some more shelving down here. So kind of a more infrastructure, larger project than the smaller, finer woodworking stuff that I normally post on here. So look for that coming soon. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. All right, first video back.